Okay, I thought I'd discuss some of the problems I found over the time that no one discusses or anything when they buy a vehicle, and how you don't get ripped off, so you don't end up buying a repairable write-off, or it's wrecked, or you can't register it, or they're trying to sell your vehicle, it's unregistered. This side here in Australia, personal property security register check, this gives you all the details and stuff. Now it costs 25 Australian dollars to buy it, and it gives you written off records. It didn't show me the dominant, it tells you if it's registered, registration details for any finance on, which is very important if you buy a vehicle too, and stolen vehicle check and the VIN validation. Now as we go through the report, I had to block out a couple of the like, you know, the report ID and the end of the VIN number and the registration here, the registration number plate, because I didn't want to go displaying people's details all over the internet, because I don't have permission for that. But as you can see, the report's been generated on the 18th of the 2nd, so it's only yesterday. And I was going to discuss what I found. So I was going to buy a Harley Davidson motorbike off this bloke, and I thought I'll just run the check through the personal property security register, or ppsr, just to see if they've got any record of it, to try and find out some of the history and that of the motorbike. And I thought I'd just run a check in that, because I want to make sure, you know, if the motorbike was registered, and has it been, is it a repairable write-off or anything? Because if you buy a vehicle and you don't know this stuff, and you end up buying a repairable write-off pile of junk, the resale value of that vehicle is going to be worthless. You know, no one's going to want to be buying a repairable write-off. And it tells you on the details here, you got your VIN number of it and make. Obviously this was a Harley Davidson, so it's got Harley David there, model FXS series, and it was a body, it was a motorcycle, it was black. That was alright, and registration expires the 26th of 3rd 2021. And I thought all was good, and I looked down in this section here, and it says here, a quick summary, no stolen status reported. So, you know, I thought that's alright, but then it's got here a question mark where it says written off status reported. And obviously if it's over 7 years old, there's no finance on the vehicle, so you don't have to worry about that. And you got your vehicle registered, it's got a ticket, means yes. So if you buy a vehicle off someone and it's under finance, the finance company or whoever the vehicle's financed at, they can actually take possession of that vehicle and they own it. So if you paid someone cash money for a vehicle, or you take out a loan, or you do whatever to buy that vehicle, and they owe money on it, and you know, they can just come and take that vehicle. So it's very important to make sure. Now, I don't know why this stuff ain't free. It's just about getting money out of people, which is annoying. But if they owe money on a vehicle and you've got in your possession, they can actually take that vehicle off you, and you'll lose that, and you won't get nothing. And they'll sell that vehicle or get it back to recover whatever's owed on the vehicle. They don't care about you. So that's why you should do these checks. So over the page here, I'll just tear that off. It's easier. So over the page here, we've got written off status report. It's got written off. It's got impact front heavy panel and impact right rear heavy panel. And date recorded. The accident, when it had an accident, was the 25th September 2003, and the state recorded was Queensland, and the type was inspected. Now it says here that it was a repairable write-off. And a repairable write-off means that a vehicle that wasn't worth fixing for the insurance company, so they just made a repairable write-off, and you could go and buy that vehicle at an auction, you could do it up, and then you could resell it, and you'd have to get it passed over the pits like these are done, and then sell it. But it's still a smashed up pile of shit, so, you know, and this has got serious complications if you buy this vehicle, and you go to sell it. This is going to scare everybody off from buying it. So it had an accident, and it was recorded in 2013 in Queensland, and it was a repairable write-off. And they got it re-registered, and I didn't even know this. By looking at it now, you wouldn't even know. It was a repairable write-off. So this is the certificate what you get here. That's just my search number and stuff. And you got the serial number, here's the VIN number for it. And it's got registration state search, it's current, which it was registered in Sydney or New South Wales. And it gives you the identification number and the colour of it and just the model like the first page. And it's just a bit of, just tells you the stuff that was damaged here, the same stuff that told us on the previous page. Just tells you, you know, I don't know what these codes mean. Here 110 and 113A or I13A, it just says front and rear. And it doesn't say it was stolen or anything on it. And this report, like I said at the start, it cost $25. And if you buy this report, from this website, if you're going to buy a vehicle in Australia or anything, and you buy this for $25 and you enter the rego number, which says here, enter rego or VIN, and just select your state here in that drop down box, like it'll come up Western Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, it'll come up, you know, all the states in Australia. You just type that in, and you have to pay, you can use a credit card or anything. But I advise anyone that's buying a vehicle to get this report, because if you don't get this report and you're buying a repairable write-off or something, your car's not going to be worth anything. Like, no one's going to be wanting to buy a repairable write-off. Like, obviously you could just imagine, like, you know, if you didn't know about this, it was a wreck, and you go and buy the car, and, you know, later on you go and sell it and you find it's a repairable write-off, it's going to scare off all potential buyers. So, you know, you can't buy this sort of shit. And another important thing too is that, you know, about the finance owing on a car, you know, because they take a loan out over 7 years or something. If the car's new, you want to do that check too, because, you know, like I said earlier, they can just take your vehicle off you because the person who sold it to you don't own it. So that's how the system works here in Australia. And yeah, and thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and make sure before you buy a car, do a check and find out if it's a repairable write-off or not, because there's a lot of cars getting around Australia, including motorbikes and the rest of the stuff, and they're repairable write-offs. And yeah, no one wants to buy crap like. And just a bit of a rundown about repairable write-offs and stuff, like, you know, what that sort of involves is a car that's been, say a car that gets sideswiped, or the car's been smacked in the front end of the car and it's got chassis damage, and they've straightened the chassis out, and, you know, they've pulled it out and they've, you know, put shit panels on it and filled it up with bog or bondo, whatever you want to call it, and then resprayed a bit of the car, and that's how you get a lot of problems. Another thing too to notice, that when you go to look at a car, is check the colour and rub your hands inside the doors, in the passenger door and the driver's side and under the bonnet and in the boot and stuff, and look for overspray or mismatched colour on panels. Look at it real careful in the sun, and when you go along all the different panels, even rub your hand over the car and see if it's got any overspray on it, because that can give you an indication, if you're actually looking at the car in front of you, if the car is a repairable write-off or it has been fixed. So yeah, and that's just a little bit of a tip. And thanks for watching.